Yeah. So, first of all, welcome everybody. I'm not usually a just chatting kind of person. I play games and and I talk whenever a subject comes up. If someone says it in the stream or if there is probably something I want to talk about, but it usually comes on when I'm uh, how do you say? I usually figure out what I want to talk about. I'm not going to put my headphones on right now. I usually figure out what I want to talk about when something comes across my screen or my phone as I'm playing it. Then I'll quickly say something about it because I'm not the kind of person who usually likes to rehearse things. I don't like practicing. Anybody who knows me back in like school time in band, because I'm a band nerd. I haven't practiced for a while, but I'm a band nerd. I never practiced it. And the only time I ever practiced was during rehearsal because obviously it was never at a level at school to where you needed to know what you needed to know during school time. It was always like you come in and you practice it at in your band period. So you didn't have to. I felt I didn't have to rehearse at home. Only times I ever actually did was when I know I needed to do this part and I was having trouble with it, and that would be practically the only time. For the majority of my time, I never rehearsed it. We practiced it in band for that period, which was fifth period, and then we would perform it at the performances or at the festivals or at the contests. So I'm not a practice slash rehearsal kind of person. I don't like it because it feels disingenuous to me, at least. It's like if other people need to, they need to. I know I should have to sound better than what I did, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It's boring. In fighting games, I lab maybe for like 5 minutes and then I'm like, okay, let's go fight. Because as much as you could do in practice, it doesn't matter because best laid plans, right? Like everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So might as well go into fighting someone else rather than staying in the training hall. So that way I can figure out what to do at that point in time. So when it comes down to topics like this, I've been bombarded on socials, not to talk about it obviously because I'm a nobody. Nobody knows me. Nobody cares about what I have to say or anything like that. But I don't care because if I wasn't gonna be on stream talking about it, I'm gonna be talking to myself about it. So I might as well turn the camera on. Everything I do is I'm gonna be doing it anyways. Stream the game. I'm gonna play the games anyways. Hang out with people. I'm gonna hang out with them online anyways. So I don't have anything rehearsed. I don't have a speech. I didn't look up anything more than what I've been told for the most part about what happened. But what happened? Charlie Kirk, I believe he was the founder of Turning Point USA, major figure in the political conservative movement. Not even a movement, it is what it is. It's just that recently there's been a lot of movement within it for the past, I want to say, 8 plus years, which seems like a long time, but in the grand scheme of the world, it's recent. Charlie Kirk, September 10th, was assassinated. He was assassinated. He wasn't just murdered. Let me make this bigger. 'Cause I don't know. It kind of seems like I'm trying to hide myself if I stay at the corner. He wasn't just murdered, and it wasn't an accident that took his life. He didn't pass. He was predominant. He was a great man, and he was assassinated. Now, why he was assassinated, many people could go ahead and speculate on the reasons why. Because people claim that he is phobic or some kind of cyst. It could be because of what he spoke um, about conservative issues, decency, things like abortion, gun rights, constitutionality. It could be because of his Christian beliefs and how he never was quiet about it. As this is a call out for all Christians, you should not be quiet. You should not be quiet about your Christian beliefs. You should not. You should be loud and you should stand strong on your Christian beliefs. And he was strong and he was loud. He was very intelligent and very articulate in what he said. Recently, Charlie Kirk has seemed to be more critical of of would it be a Middle Eastern conflict between Israel and Palestine? And he would see he before, and not just long before, but recently before, he's been a staunch supporter as a pro-Israeli conservative. Israel is our greatest ally. And recently, he's been more critical about that. He gave a little bit of pushback to Netanyahu. He's been critical of the tactics that Israel has been taking. He's been critical. I don't think to the point where he completely changed his mind. And don't take it the wrong way, it's not flip-flopping. There's a difference between flip-flopping and coming to a realization and changing your mind. People, everybody has time to learn and to grow and to change. Everybody does. Things are stagnant. Living things change. If you do not grow, if you do not learn, if you do not change, you're not living. You are existing. You're stagnant. Essentially, you're dead. If you're not growing, you're dying. And I'd like to think that he was coming to a realization, if you would, that he may have been changing his mind. But all of that really doesn't matter. They lead to people considering different factors of why it happened. But the fact still stands is Charlie Kirk, great Christian man, very intellectual, very articulate, very loving, because he was loving regardless of what people think his speech was. It's very loving. Was assassinated September 10th. At one of his Turning Point USA things. I think it was the first stop of his tour. or of a tour where he goes to different college campuses and he talks to people. See, here's another thing. When when people, anybody who has a platform or something to say, they talk, they do like lectures or sermons or what. That's usually what it is. You go to a place and you talk. There's no back and forth. It, you go there to see the person talk, and that person talks about a topic or multiple topics, but within the same idea. And it's a talk. You're being talked to, not like a kid or anything, but you're being talked to. It's like a movie. You're watching a movie. You're watching a person talk. He's not the first one to do this. I believe Crowder actually, Steven Crowder, uh, comedian, voice actor, and conservative political figurehead, started it with a thing called "Change My Mind." More intimate, more close. It was Crowder, and it was one person, and I believe that that was pretty much the start of it. But Charlie Kirk took that and expanded it out upon it, and kind of, I believe, made it a mixture of a lecture and a conversation, because he was there in the middle of a college campus. And college is not what it used to be. I remember a time when college and universities were a place where a young man would go, not to be locked in an echo chamber of same thought and backpatting. Good boy. You're talking what we want you to talk about. You're learning what we want you to learn. You're putting aside things that would stop critical thinking. Universities, I remember, is where men used to go and speak on topics, any topic, and usually conflict within each other. If not genuinely, at least purposefully conflict each other's ideas so that your ideas may either be strengthened or you would change your mind because you found your ideas lacking. Essentially, in the arena, iron sharpens iron. And that's what he did recently, because college has become an echo chamber of very liberal thinking without contrast, without pushback to the contrary, and a lot of self aggrandizement from the staff to the students and vice versa. It has become an echo chamber full of what's called safe spaces, where you are not allowed to say certain things because it may make other students and faculty sad. That is not what college is supposed to be or what universities are supposed to be. And somewhere in the time, people have lost that. They've lost the sight of why higher education was important, and essentially have become a hive mind, so that at the end you're hundreds of $1,000s in debt, learning from a hive mentality, essentially almost Borgish, and busting out at the end a pseudo intellectual working drone. Someone who thinks they're smart but really isn't, and has a piece of paper that says, yes, I can follow orders for 4+ years. hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to come out the other end as a worker drone without analytical thinking, without critical thinking, and a piece of paper that says, I am safe to hire. And Charlie Kirk thought that too. Charlie Kirk also thought college was a scam. And in my later days, I have learned yes, there is nothing, let me retract that. There is almost nothing higher education can teach you that you can't learn either by yourself, through a book, or on the job training. More so than anything, an apprenticeship. Apprenticeship would save people and companies a lot of money. But people no longer at this moment, anyways, in the way the world is, people no longer have what's called honor, loyalty to something, to where a company can see it beneficial to hire someone and put in the resources to build them up to the employee that they need. What are we talking about? I just got here. Pickle R. I'm talking about it. It's mostly about Charlie Kirk and his assassination. But I seem to also be talking about things that I'm noticing in society and putting my 2 cents on that. That's what I'm talking about here. You could go ahead and say something if you want to, and we could converse. Because that's the other thing too. If I wanted to just talk about it, I would just make a short form video, rehearse my lines, and put a TikTok, put a short, put a YouTube, and I would put that up. But I'm not. It's like I'm saying it out here for anybody who wants to see, who wants to watch, and who wants to join in, and also those who wants to not, and who want to push back on the idea. But yeah, that's what we're talking about here. I could put a video on the background. Yeah, that's all well and good. I'm not going to. And like I said, I'm not a video of capybaras eating. Well, I that's okay. If you don't need to see my ugly face, that's fine and all. But I'd like to thank you for coming in, anyways. I'm not a just chatting person. I'm not a political talking person when it comes down to these streams. I usually play games and just talk, but right now I'm just talking. So, but it is what it is. Thank you, Pickle. I'm gonna call you Pickle. That's a pretty cool character from Baki. Pickle. Thank you for coming in. And don't get it twisted, because I'm laughing, because I'm smiling and stuff like that. That doesn't mean I'm not sad and I'm not upset or things like that. But life needs to go on, and there are good things that go on in the world. Conversation's one of them, and Charlie Kirk was really good at that. But like I was saying, Charlie Kirk put himself in a situation where he was the lone person against a machine by going into these colleges, setting down his table, and having conversations. And for that, he was really brave, strong, and kind man. He always let everybody talk. Everybody. Now, there are situations in which they didn't let him talk. Not Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk didn't let some people talk. And that, he usually didn't point them out as soon as they got to the microphone. It was usually when they said a certain kind of phrase, it like lit a light. Be like, oh. And because of the nature of what Charlie Kirk was doing and the nature of the environment he found himself in, it usually triggered something like oh, you're being disingenuous because you said this thing or that thing. Because as many enemies as intellectual enemies, obviously, not actual enemies to where like they're going to kill each other, but as many intellectual enemies as Charlie Kirk had, It wasn't all from a liberal leftist mindset. There were many conservative and conservative minded people that didn't like Charlie Kirk, but it wasn't as we don't like Charlie Kirk as a person, but we don't like the fact that he's so quiet about it. Thank you, people. I will enjoy. I hope you stay. I hope you enjoy as well. Yeah, because he was so moderate. As many people try like to say that Charlie Kirk was hateful or phobic or istic, he really wasn't. He was the most moderate of people doing what he was doing. That is, I think, the reason why he was assassinated. Out of all the different factors of why, because he was noticing, so it was Mossad. Because he was istic and phobic, that's why it was a lib. Because he was pro-Palestine, that's why not pro-Israel, that's why it was a pro-Palestinian conservative. Because he was noticing, that's why it was a pro-Israeli conservative. It was because he was so moderate that he spoke to a greater base. He didn't just speak to right leaning individuals, he spoke to the people in the middle. He spoke to the people who were center right and center left. And obviously, everybody from the right and everybody from the left knew him because he was such a great man. He was big, he was a juggernaut when he spoke. Free speech, constitutionality, Christianity. But he was moderate to the point where practically everybody heard him. And if any factor that is deeper than just, oh, it was just some liberally minded individual killing him. If any other factor that I described is it has a chance to be true, it's because his base was so big, because he was the most moderate of anybody doing what he was doing. And so September 10th, in the middle of a question that seems like a setup, poignantly talking about gun control, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. A great man, a great mind, and a great Christian, way better than I could ever hope to act like. I'm a Christian. I'm a terrible person. As much as I try not to be, I am a sinner through and through, and I have very hateful thoughts in my mind. Very. Charlie Kirk was a beautiful man, a beautiful, loving, understanding man who still said what he was going to say. Zwar, welcome in, dude. And he was taken from the world. He was, and more importantly than anything, because the world is the world, whatever it is, he was taken away from his family, from his wife and 2 children, in front of them. For ideas. Love you too, Zwar. for talking. Such a great man, such a big man, such a big part of the world, and we have to thank Charlie's family for knowing the risk that Charlie was going through and letting him give him to us. Because as soon as he put a microphone and a camera on him, he had a target on him, and his family had to have known what that target meant. I know they had long conversations before Charlie ever got big about this going on and the dangers that Charlie was going to see and the aftermath that the family was going to feel. They had to have had conversations about it. We have to thank his family for allowing him to do what he did and give us Charlie Kirk. He is a great man, beautiful man, beautiful Christian, and a wonderful, amazing patriot. If his ideas were ever to show you that like his talking and his ideas, his convictions, if they were ever to show anybody that they were meaningful and they were powerful, the actions of government, the United States government right now, and I'm only going to talk about the United States government right now because there are other governments in the world that also have done things. The United States government, their actions on the aftermath of his assassination. I believe it was the Senate, on the floors of the Senate, when they asked for a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And this is before he was found dead, mind you. It was when they thought, but I'm pretty sure they knew that he wasn't. But we didn't know that. So I'm going to base it off of this was before we knew he was pronounced dead. They asked for a moment of silence on the floors of the Senate, or the floors of the House. And they were drowned out with boos and no's. They were drowned out by it. By what's sad to say, a whole party. I would have liked to have said by a handful of people. By a handful of people, but it wasn't a handful of people. It was the party. By the Democratic Party. They were drowned out by... I'm not a Democrat. I barely even think I'm a Republican. I'm a Christian conservative. If anything, for me, the best way I've ever described myself is an accelerationist, theocratic monarchist. I want things to happen. I want Christendom to reign. I want to have a king. That's me. But I'm also liberty-minded. I'm a constitutionalist too. The Constitution is the law of the land. So I'm not here saying, oh, the Democrat Party is awful and full of demons because I'm a Republican. No, far from it. If anything, I'm more conservative than anything. A whole party, the Democratic Party, drowned out a moment of silence for a person. Let's not even say it's Charlie Kirk. Anybody else, a person that is at that point in time, from our understanding, in critical condition. But I'm pretty sure they had already known he was gone. A man having lost his life, and the Democratic Party could not get themselves out of their own way to let it happen simply because he was a Republican, He was a friend of Donald Trump and the administration. He was the head of Turning Point USA. He was a conservative. He was a Christian. And for all those markers, they didn't see a man fighting for his life, a father losing the fight, a husband at the doors. They saw an enemy. And they could not keep quiet for a moment of silence for a man. They saw an enemy. And in that one hateful action, that they know there's cameras. They know there's cameras behind them. At that one instant, they bared their whole ass to a nation, to the world, but to a nation. How does anybody get it in their head as a politician to where your position depends on how other people perceive you? How do you get it in your head that, yes, I will boo the passing of a man, of an American citizen? I'm not saying that American citizens are better than anybody else. I'm saying, as an American politician, in the halls, on the floors, in your position, on camera, with a mic, how do you boo a moment of passing for an American citizen? How do you do it? The same way how people, news anchors, slant the news biasly. On both sides, but biasly. The same way these college campuses have made these echo chambers of people never disagreeing with each other because they don't want to be seen as radical or bad people. So they all spew out the same thing and be from the halls of higher learning have become mindless drones, zombies. They do a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. That's one way that you show that his actions were meaningful to not only himself, not only to the people who follow him, but the nation in general. Another way, when his body was being transported, he was on Air Force 2. The Vice President of the United States plane for transporting. They took him on Air Force 2 to jump on that. J.D. Vance was there. Not only was he was there with the procession to load him onto Air Force 2, to load Charlie Kirk onto Air Force 2. And from what I'm understanding, was actually purposefully pushing down the casket at least to a certain degree, because they were told that because of the damage that was inflicted on Charlie Kirk, that he would, to best preserve his vessel, he had to be at a certain angle. J.D. Vance was pushing down on the casket during the procession to the plane to transport him back to his home in Arizona. Simply for that. They didn't even have to do that. They didn't. They didn't have to use Air Force 2. They didn't. J.D. Vance didn't have to be there. But on top of everything else, they didn't have to have the casket at that angle. J.D. Vance was there purposefully making sure and pushing down at the edge of the casket for that to happen, for the benefit of Charlie Kirk and his family, and for the rest of us too. Because I know that the services for him will be televised. They're going to be televised. That didn't have to happen, but because he was such a great man, it happened. Because he made such an impact, it happened. And yet the Democrat Party could not spare a moment of silence for a man fighting for his life. And at that time, I believe they knew he was dead. Anybody who saw the video, they knew immediately he was dead even before he hit the ground. There was no safety. The best thing that we could see out of that video is the fact that, hopefully, but it leans that way, he didn't suffer. No one deserves that. No one ever deserves it. Regardless of why you think he was killed. Regardless of why you think he was killed. A great man was gunned down for talking. Talking! And not even talking, but conversing, having a conversation. He didn't talk at you. It wasn't a monologue. He didn't think himself better than anybody else. He was talking and wanting conversation with people. Because he loved, dude. He loved this country, and he loved his brothers and sisters. Regardless if you're a Christian or not, you are our brothers and you are our sisters. At this point in time, if you're not a Christian, you're just misinformed or confused. But regardless, we still love you. You are brothers and sisters. And Charlie Kirk thought that too. And he loved you. He wanted to talk to you. He wasn't talking at you. He wasn't talking a modicum of shit at anybody. He used facts. He used numbers, statistics. He didn't just say things. I say things out of my ass. I'm an idiot. Charlie Kirk was a great man, an amazing mind. 31 years old. 31 years old and did so much for the world, and he would have done more if it wasn't for people hating. But now let's get on to other governments. Where our government, the Democratic Party, couldn't get past themselves to boo a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Other countries in the world's governments were having moments of silence for Charlie Kirk. I saw a video about Mexico where they straight up had a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Mexican officials were mourning the passing of Charlie Kirk. People in Korea were mourning the passing of Charlie Kirk. And here in the United States, where he was an American citizen, we have disgusting, demon-imposed people dancing, laughing, making jokes, making crude pictures of him. United States citizens having the gall to celebrate the passing, the killing, the assassination of a man, a person, anybody. How do you did that? I can't. The wires in my brain are so short-circuited right now, thinking of how anybody would ever think to dance and celebrate at the passing of a person. And that's how you know that they didn't want people to understand them. They didn't want tolerance because they are not tolerant. They don't want tolerance. They want you to do what they say. Talking is one of our best methods of understanding each other. Debate should be sick. It should. It really should. But in the halls of higher education, where that actually was supposed to be the reason, was where intellectuals battled in the arena of thoughts and ideas. You lost that. So when you lose it in your higher education, from the staff, from the faculty, and from your peers, when you get out, you're not going to do that out in the world. And that's how you get politicians to boo a moment of silence for the passing of a person. You lose it. It's literally so sick that people can make fun of someone dying no matter if they agreed with him or not. The guy legit passed in front of his family. Exactly. And no one deserves that. He was still human. Yes, he was still human. We're all human. And that's why you can't make any sense out of it. You can't. You can't make any sense out of it other than these people who are dancing, who are laughing and everything. They gotta be demon possessed, dude. Because a normal human wouldn't act that way. Someone who cares wouldn't act that way. But they did. And not only did they act that way, they thought it was good to record themselves and post it. That's how enclosed they are from the world. That, oh, people who I'm around hated Charlie Kirk. Let me go ahead and dance to show that I'm happy that he's gone. Yeah, let me post it. Bam, you lost your job. Bam, you lost your accreditation. Bam, your business is going under with bad reviews. Now, mind it, I don't like cancel culture. This is not cancel culture. Cancel culture is when someone, let's say, is downplaying you, brigading you, or causing you harm because of what they say. It's like you did something bad when it really isn't anything bad. This isn't cancel culture so much as it is shaming. You are being shamed. Something that we've lost as a species because of the progressive ideas and the progressive movement that has plagued our species in the past couple of decades. Burning bras, parades, Baphomet statues, there is no longer a sense of shame that we share, not only as a nation and as a culture, but as a species. You lost that, and you lost how certain people should be acting, and you get what this is. You get the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you get ghouls and demon-imposed people celebrating the loss of life. Other people in other countries are mourning the loss of Charlie Kirk. That's how big of reach, of an impact Charlie Kirk had. People from China are saying that Charlie Kirk was a good man, and they supported him. Just the same, it's just like it's probably not that many people, but his reach went to China. Korea, Mexico, Italy, everywhere. People are losing touch with their humanity. Yes, people are losing touch with their humanity, and it's because they're becoming more intellectual. So they're more receptive and more understanding, and even more more accepting of things that before were shameful. People were shameful, and no longer, because they think they're smart. People are not. We are not smart. September 10th, Charlie Kirk's assassination. The day before the greatest tragedy to have ever happened to the modern United States occurred 24 years ago, September 11th, 2001. I remember seeing that on the news. I remember the silence that fell around me from the people who saw that too. And I'm in California, clear across the country. And the impact was that grave to people. What more was it for people in New York, let alone New York City, and of all that, Manhattan? September 11th, 2001. The biggest, most brazen, and most fatal terrorist attack to ever happen on the United States soil. I have my beliefs about September 11th. I've heard other people share their beliefs about September 11th. But immediately after September 11th, the nation joined, united as one. Regardless of what you were, with the exception of anybody that looked Middle Eastern. I'm not going to lie about that. People were definitely not accepting of anyone Middle Eastern and anyone that looked Middle Eastern, because I've seen a lot of people from India actually getting a lot of hate during that time. Humans are humans, and that's what they're going to do. It's not right. But you see where it comes from. It is not right and should not have happened to American citizens. But if you know human nature, you knew that was going to happen. That caveat aside, the United States was more united than ever. September 11th. Well, immediately after September 11th, but I want to say go ahead September 12th, the day after. We shall never forget was the lines that came out of that. But as the years went on, we as a nation forgot. And we became divisive. Again, we were divided. The last election proved that we are divided practically down the middle. And now we have a day in September, the day before September 11th, that we shall never forget, that we were the most united 24 years ago. 24 years later, September 10th, the day before the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and we have never been more divided since the Civil War. Practically down the line. 50-50. This country is divided. And you see why. You see the people dancing at the death of a man He was hateful. He was istic. He was phobic. He was a man who spoke and conversed. All you had to do was talk back. But instead, people yelled. People flung in obscenities. And he's not the only one that suffers that. We have government officials that suffer that. We have intellectuals that suffer that. We have comedians that suffer that. Joe Rogan suffers that. And he is so far from being a conservative. He, I believe, is still center left. And he gets hate. When he took ivermectin, they were saying he was taking horseworm tranquilizer stuff. Dude. Oh, man. Because everybody wanted everybody to get a shot that was not tested and came out immediately instead of like being worried about themselves. And usually the people who wanted that are the same kind of people who shop at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's because they don't like all the preservatives in their freaking food. They went ahead and put something in their bodies that wasn't tested. September 10th, 2025, the assassination of Charlie Kirk proves how divided as a country we are, how divided as a people we are. They're even divided amongst their own party. Libertarian people, democratic people, people who are on the left-hand side find these liberals who are dancing at the death of a man disgusting. To the point that they are changing their republic and their government allegiance from Democrat to Republican. I'm not here to tell you that you should become a Republican. I'm not even necessarily a Republican. If anything, I may have like when I did my paperwork for the DMV and it tells you what party do you affiliate with. I may have put Republican because of September 11th. And I'm just too lazy to change it. So yeah, if anybody finds that I'm a Republican, yeah, sure. It doesn't matter to me because they're both not good. I don't like politicians. I don't like government. I'm a accelerationist. I'm a theocratic monarchist. I 100% believe in the Constitution. That should be the law of the land. Not none of this gun control changes in different states kind of thing. Two-way constitutionality. As stated in the Constitution, shall not be infringed. Charlie Kirk fought saying 2A shall not be infringed. It is a God-given right. And if Charlie Kirk would have survived, he still would have been on that fight. And everyone's celebrating. The people who don't want people to have guns, the people who want gun regulation and want to get rid of the Second Amendment are the same ones celebrating that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a gun. Square that circle. You can't. Why? Morons. Brainless drones. So now you have a country the day before September 11th, 24 years later, more divided than ever. Everybody forgot September 11th. I've never forgotten September 11th. But it seems as a nation we have. And September 10th, 2025 is evidence of that. The division of a nation. Provable by this past election, solidified by the death of a good Christian man. As an American citizen, I am ashamed of my brothers and sisters that can't get past themselves and celebrate the death of a man. Can't get past themselves to honor a man with a moment of silence. That they need to boo and protest. I'm ashamed. I would say that we all should be ashamed. But I fear that shame has been regulated out of the capacity of these people. Mind you, though, what's his name? He's a up and coming name on TikTok. A leftist individual. I forgot. It's not Harry Sisson. It's the other one. I forgot his name. But when the news came across of Charlie Kirk having been shot, of his assassination, he spoke about it and he began to well up. He began to cry. Now, people are going to say that on his Discord, he was running a poll of if Charlie Kirk was dead or not. That's ghoulish. That shouldn't be a thought. The thought at that point in time should be thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Let's hope that he survives this. Not is he dead or not. Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. Aside that I heard, because I think that did happen. On his live, he was live when that news hit, and he began to cry. Like not like wailing and weeping, but his eyes were red. You saw the water in them. You saw what looked like remorse. He did not like Charlie Kirk. He did not like Charlie Kirk. That young man, I want to say he's like 20, maybe even younger. He might be 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there. That young man showed more moral courage, more fortitude as a man than any one of those congressmen and senators on the floor that booed the moment of silence. And he was actually Charlie Kirk's opponent, enemy, if you will. But I'll say opponent because of that one action that he did. Not enemy, but opponent. And he saw a man dead. And he had remorse in his heart. And that gives me hope for the next generation. These young men and women that are coming up, these young ladies, these young gentlemen that are coming up in schools. That gives me hope as a nation and as a species. That it was the institutions that was breeding shame and was breeding shame out of us as humans, as was breeding hate and was breeding out critical thinking. It was the institutions that were doing it and not people in general, because even though he was Charlie Kirk's opponent, he can see a man dead and be remorseful of it and shed a tear. Sidda. What, me, my eyes? Yeah, so if anything, with that little hope, there's that we could talk. I'm glad to have seen it. I didn't like him, the kid in question. I've seen a couple of his TikTok shorts. I didn't like it. I don't like him. I don't like what he had to say, what he believes, what he espouses, or anything like that. But that one action solidifies my respect for him, because I respect him. I respect him as a brother, as an American citizen, as someone who considers themselves an intellectual, I respect what he says is rather intellectual, like kind of thing. Uh, oh, Vay, hey, what's up? I do remember you. Yeah, I'll tell her if she's not here already and didn't see you. I'll tell her. Um, I respected him as an individual. I didn't like him, so I saw him as an intellectual opponent. Obviously, I'm nobody, but I don't like the things that he espouses. But sometimes he had a point here and there, very rarely. Just like Hassan, I don't like Hassan Piker, but very rarely does he make a point, and sometimes he actually says something I agree with. Destiny, I like Destiny. I used to listen to Destiny up until recently, like about maybe 2 years ago. But I don't like Destiny, um, as what he says. But I respect him as an intellectual individual. I respect him as a brother, an American citizen. Even if he does laugh at situations like this, I don't know what he said about this recently. I remember about the shooting when they tried to assassinate Trump, and he laughed at the death of the crowd behind him. He laughed at that. That was disgusting and ghoulish. I hope he learned his lesson. I hope he learned shame off of that. I don't know if he did or not. But again, I'm nobody. I'm nothing. But I still respect him. And I respect this young man. I wish I could remember his name. The only one I remember is Harry Sisson, but it's not him. It's the other one. Because regardless of what happened on his Discord, regardless of that poll, regardless of what he said previous, at that point in time, he showed more respect, more intellectual consistency than grown men in the floors of Congress. He had remorse, and that in and of itself gives me hope for this next generation coming up. Gen Z, Gen Alpha, the younger young men and young women, and the future of the United States. Now, with the division being stated, at the end of the day, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. I don't know Charlie Kirk. I know him from his videos in his show and his turning point events. I know him. But I don't know Charlie Kirk as a human, as a neighbor, as a family member, as a friend. I don't know him. I'm sad. I'm saddened at his passing. Not because he said things I believe in, but because he passed. Charlie Kirk, I hope that I know that you're in paradise. I know you are in heaven with our Lord and Savior. I know 100% in my heart. God welcomed you with the words we all want to hear. Welcome home, my good and faithful son. So, if anybody is here, I invite you. I don't ask you. And I don't ask for your permission. I invite you for a moment of silence. As we pay respect to Charlie Kirk. Not the head of a Turning Point USA, the head of a movement of conservative values, as a Christian man. Charlie Kirk. A moment of silence for Charlie Kirk and his soul. Heavenly Father, thank you for the angel that you let us have for 31 years. Charlie Kirk was a wonderful individual and a good man and a good Christian. He always, always put you first. On his tongue was your name, and he proclaimed it. We know that he is there with you in your glory. And we thank you. And we ask, please give his family the power to endure this time of mourning. In this we pray. Thank you. May his soul rest in peace. And forgive us for the things that we've said and the things that we have done against not only Charlie Kirk, our brother, but the rest of our brothers and sisters. He's still here with us, regardless if they're on the left or on the right, or what they may think or say or do. And give us the strength to forgive them as well. And help us love and care for, like Charlie did, for other people. But not only like that, but as Jesus showed and made examples of it. All this we pray to you, Lord. Amen. Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Now, what happens next? You have a vacuum now. Nobody wants to talk about it. Very few people are. And in fact, 2 people have said why and what they're going to do. And that's 2 very, very distinct sides from where Charlie Kirk was. Charlie Kirk was here. Now you have 2 sides of the same position that are going to fill the void. One side, you have Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro and the like of Ben Shapiro. So like Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire. So that would include Michael Knowles and individuals like that. Not so much moderate. They're a bit stronger with their words. But along the same lines, you have them that people will gravitate to with the passing of Charlie Kirk. And you have the other one You have the other one, Nick Fuentes. I'll say his name because I don't really care. I don't really care what happens to like where I'm shooting this from. If I can't stream, well then I'll just start making videos and posting them on there. Mr. Fuentes. He talks. And he's loud. And he's unapologetic. And he is anything but a moderate. And it's showing that people like Ben Shapiro lose ground to people like Nick Fuentes. Charlie Kirk spoke moderately to the point where he had all of the base. These two sides have sides of the base, but because what happened to Charlie Kirk, people will be radicalized. And that's not in the negative connotation. It is in the objective connotation. Radicalized. To ferment their ideologies. And evidence shows it leans to Nick Fuentes. To the point I've heard that both Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes will be continuing Charlie Kirk's work. Not affiliated most likely with Turning Point. They may help Turning Point, but not so much affiliated with Turning Point. It's probably their own things with Daily Wire and with America First. So regardless of what people may think, say, or do, they are going to do what Charlie Kirk was doing, and not in the moderate sense that he was doing it at. The people who celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk, you left a vacuum. You left the door open. Charlie Kirk was your best hope for an opponent. You won't like what's coming next. Get ready. You will have to deal with them. You won't like it. I don't know, man. And there aren't the only two people that said that they're gonna continue doing it. I think Andrew Wilson was talking to Steven Crowder, saying you should bring back your Change My Minds. He may not. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But he was the father of the Table Sit Down Talk episodes. Steven Crowder. He may do it, at least in a limited sense. He may do it. Who do you got? Who else? Myron Gaines. He may do it as well. I think he said he's actually going to join with Turning Point, even if he didn't agree with Charlie Kirk, because he was pro-Israeli and Myron is pro-Palestinian. He said he was going to help, and he said he was going to join on other Turning Point events. These people talk. They talk. They are loud. They are unashamed, unapologetic. They are intellectual. But they will talk. Myron was already doing things. I think he had a scheduled event September 11th at another college that they postponed it because of security issues. They saw they want to get more security and it wasn't going to be enough time. But he's already been doing that recently. Now he's going to be tied in with Turning Point. That's more resources at his disposal if this goes on. Ben Shapiro has the Daily Wire. Michael Knowles was already doing it, but Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles are more lecturers than they are, not debaters, but conversationists. Nefuentes is both. Bright, bright, smart, articulate young man Nick Fuentes is. And he has an axe to grind. You took away a lot from him. All right, Eve, you have yourself a good night. Thanks for coming in. You removed him from everywhere. You made them persona non grata, not only to payment processors and banks and things like Uber and other services, but you made him persona non grata to a party that he was affiliated to. His base is growing. His base will grow exponentially more now after what you guys did to Charlie Kirk. Because people see, oh, wow, we can't talk to you. Charlie Kirk, the most moderate, the most kind, loving one of us, was there to talk to you. And you've proven you didn't want to talk. September 11th, 2001. We'll never forget. We became most united. September 10th, 2025. We obviously forgot. We are divided. You've opened the door to let something you don't want in, and it's coming. So, best of luck to you. You're already losing your jobs. And, yeah. I think you will be held account to your words, to your ghoulful actions of a passing of a human. I hope. I wish that wasn't the case, but you've shown that you don't want to talk. So yeah. I pray for the benefit of my brothers and sisters in Christ, for my brothers and sisters in the United States. I pray that we can come together and fix the trajectory of what we've been heading towards. But September 10th is evidence that you don't want to. Good luck, everybody else. It's the best I could say. I went on for a bit. I'm sorry. It's just that. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. May your soul be at rest and at peace in paradise. And for the family of Charlie Kirk, I pray that God gives you strength during this time. Never forget your wonderful husband and your amazing father. But yeah. That's pretty much all I can say about it. Like I said, I'm just some dude. I'm an idiot. As for me, life goes on as it will for everybody else. We got to go to work. We got to pay bills. Good luck, everybody. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I've been playing video games. I played video games September 10th as well. Like, you could do two things at once. You could feel sad, remorseful, scared, angry, and you can still play video games. And that's what I did, and that's what I'm gonna do now. So it's not like I'm gonna I'm not gonna shut off stream and pretend that uh, I'm a better person because I'm gonna go ahead and mourn for the loss of said individual. No, I'm not gonna do that. I did want to say what I wanted to say about Charlie Kirk because even though it's been said by other people already, I wanted to say it. Like, I know nobody listens, but I was gonna say it anyways because I can, and I did. But I'm not gonna turn off stream. It's like it's on the. That's why it's on the title for a reason. We're gonna play Hollow Knight. I'm gonna play Hollow Knight, at least for a bit. We're probably gonna call it at midnight or so. But I want to play Hollow Knight. I'm gonna play video games because it is what I like to do. It is my hobby. It is my escape from a long day. I sit down and play video games. Some people watch sports. Some people work out. I play video games. I work out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Sorry, no. I used to. My schedule changed. I work out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. That's when I work out. On other days, I play video games. And I'm going to play video games today. I'm going to go ahead and play some Hollow Knight. I went on for a bit. I didn't think I was going to talk for that much. Why is my internet so low? I'm at red right now. That's crazy. I've never noticed that. It might be because I'm doing what I'm doing. Not because of what I'm talking about, but what I'm doing. Here on my computer. Let me see, what do we got? I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this person is. Oh. Got shiny. Okay. Let's see. With that, this should make the game. There we are. Yeah, box is smaller. Yeah, we're playing in a video game now. Box has to be smaller. So I learned that there are lights that I need to buy. So I need to buy it. Oop. Gotta learn how to play again though. Let me see. So, oh yeah, that's right. I have a ticket. I can ride the tram now. Yeah, here we go. Ah. Something's biting me. Something bit me. Okay. God dang it. Oh, this is not good. Okay. No, we want to go that way. Oh, okay, so that's not the way to go. Ugh. Oh! Well, that was dumb. Whoa, okay. I'll take that. Dang it. gonna do this? That goes down? You need to go that way. Oh, I did it again. Shoot. Make box big again. Nah, I don't think so. There we go. Oh shit! Oh man. You got ahead of myself. A door with an open slot. Insert tram pass. Yes. Cool. Oh. Press the glowing button. Where are we going? Can we press it again? We can't. We can. Oh. I don't have a map for this. Oh! This looks familiar. Huh? Oh shit. Oh god. Okay. Ooh, you're strong. Oh god. Oh. Faz. There we go. I was gonna say, uh-oh, it's not working. Uh-oh. I need to heal. Someone's crying. Ah, damn it. Oh, okay. Well, fuck you. Okay, so that's the door that's closed. I need to find a way to open it. Oh? Ah, really? Too slow. Oh! That almost hit me. What the fuck? Why is there a tooth there? Mmm. Oh, right into it. Oh! It's one of those guys. My friend, you dealt with all those beasts? I'm ashamed to say I was hiding. Those ghastly things chased me and I ran. If you hadn't come along, who knows if I'd ever have survived. Lumi, what's up? How are you? Stream keeps on buffering? Yeah, I've noticed. I got a bunch of drop frames. I think I might have just gotten canceled. That is crazy. I wonder how it's going for everything else. Let me see. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay, well, I had to reset on that one. That's fine. We're back, kinda. Let me see what else. We have that one. That's some crazy stuff, man. That's way behind, too. That is way behind. Why are you breaking it? I'm not breaking it. It's not me. OBS is showing me that I got a red light. Trying to see. Yeah. This is still going. Doesn't look like it, though. Rumble's way behind. I don't know if this is a point. Might have broke. Either that or my connection's just crap right now. Yeah. I lost one. Completely. Oh no, it just shows it's live. And it's gone. Yeah, it is? Okay. Yeah, then I don't know. You know what? We may just have to call it. Alright. Yeah. May just have to call it. That's crazy. I don't want to call it. I'm back on green. I don't know. I think I should be okay now, but yeah, shit just went down. Well, we'll see what's happening with that. One of them is gone. Refresh your end and see if it's working out now. Others seeking for a fearsome warrior, what with my impressive size, but this kingdom's beast, I wonder if I'm just no match for him. Enough, I cannot wallow in my weakness. I must take strength from your example. You act so confident in battle, you show no fear before your foes. I'll try my best to do the same.
Das Manuran. Das Manuran.
See, I came from that way, so we're going this way. Okay, so that one's done. Did that come from here? I did. What the hell? It's like there's something around here. Well, we're stuck here. Let's go down. Ah, fuck! Well, I jumped! I jumped! What's up? What is that about? Come on. English. What happened? I need to get my stuff back. What's down here? It's this. I can't break that though. The really? Yeah, okay. That's strange. Let's see. Well, let's see if this works. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna call it. Alright. Guess I'm banned. Goodbye, everybody.